Hi there everyone. Today I'm going to make an apple cobbler. Apples are pretty much always in the store. You can always find apples no matter what time of the year. And I have some apples that I didn't use. I have a Granny Smith, I have a few Gala, I have a few Fuji. So whenever I make an apple pie, I automatically use the green Granny Smith apples. But for cobblers, I kind of do different things. So this is a really easy, classic, old-fashioned apple cobbler recipe. So I hope you enjoy this. You're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. This cobbler has two parts to it. It's going to have the filling and a topping. So the first ingredients I'm going to show you are for the filling. So what you're going to need is a half a cup of packed brown sugar. You're going to need 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cardamom, an 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and about 2 1/3 pounds of apples, about 5. And I have one Granny Smith, I have a Fuji, and I have some Gala. I just have a variety of apples, so I'm going to use them all. And then you're going to use about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So that's for our very first part, the filling. You want to start by greasing an 8x8 baking pan, and you want to grease it all around the edges. And I'm not going to flour it. I do that for cakes, but for this cobbler, I'm just going to butter and grease the bottom with butter, and that's it. So after you have your apples washed, peeled, and cored, you can put them in a bowl. And I ended up peeling and doing 5 apples. So then you're going to take your lemon juice and put it all over. And then you're going to take your dry ingredients that I showed you earlier, and you're going to mix everything together, which includes the brown sugar, flour, cinnamon, cardamom. And you're just going to kind of, I'm going to get a different tool. So you're going to just mix all this together in a bowl. All your cinnamon and cardamom, flour, everything, then your salt. So that's what we do next. So everything is coated just like this. And then we're going to set that aside. And then you're going to get your other mixture, which is going to be for like the topping. It's going to have your flour, your granulated sugar, baking powder, everything that I told you, and you're going to put all that together. Now we'll use the whisk. So we're going to whisk all this together, all your dry ingredients, and then we're going to add our buttermilk. We're also going to add a 1/4 cup of chilled butter, and we're going to cut those in like 1/2-inch pieces. So we're going to add our apples in the pan, in our greased 8x8 pan. And like I said, this should have about 5 apples, maybe 6. And mine is turned out to be about 5 apples. So you're going to place this in your pan, just like this. And then you're going to set this aside and get your other bowl that has everything for your topping in it, and you're going to put your butter pieces, and you want a half, probably like a 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of each piece of butter, and you're going to basically mix it together with your dry mixture. And then what we're going to do after you mix it together, you're going to add your 1/4 cup of buttermilk. And we'll mix it together again. And it's going to be, they're going to resemble like coarse crumbs. And once we get it all kind of mixed together, we're going to add it on top of our apples. And then this will bake for anywhere from 60 to 65 minutes. So you are not going to have this as a liquid. It's not supposed to be. It's just going to be like ground peas type, even when you add the buttermilk. This is exactly how it's supposed to be. So I'm going to continue just kind of mixing this around. So now you're going to add your flour mixture, your topping mixture, and you're just going to, it's going to look just like how it looks. just like this. Kind of just lumpy and not real fine. You're just going to kind of put it on all sections of the pan over the apples, and it'll cook for 60 to 65 minutes until the apples will be really bubbly and everything will be really golden brown. So it's going to be about an hour. And so after you put all your topping on, you're going to add the remainder of your sugar over, because the 1/4 cup of sugar, part of it was used before, and then the rest of it is going to be on the top. So it kind of gives it a little crust. So we're going to put this in the oven for 1 hour. There it goes on the middle rack for 60 minutes. Looks perfect, nice and golden. You can see the apples bubbling. It's ready. It's always good to have a cobbler when it's still warm. So this has been cooling about 15 minutes, which is just the perfect time. So I put a scoop of vanilla ice cream on here, and we're going to give it a try now. The apples are cooked just right. They're not mushy, and they're not too hard or firm. So let's try the crispy part. Absolutely delicious. If you want to have an apple cobbler, this is a very good recipe. Very good recipe. It's delicious and easy to make. So I hope you give this a try, and I hope it turns out wonderful.